You're ready?
Yeah.
We had to keep talking after.
Yeah, you can just move on to the photos of the house.
Okay, so yeah. So yeah, we've talked about the project, and artworks are like wood, stone, tickery, copper enamel, Sosni fabric. But yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, Kavan.
So these are the different art forms that we used through the house, which was again ranging from tickery work to getting hand embroidered, paintings, and even the bathrooms were personalized, where we had a graphic team painting the artwork and then having it laid. So can we go to the next slide, please? So that's the living room.
So that's the living room, and actually this was the last art created because we had absolutely no clue what should go on that huge wall, because the rest of our furniture was very minimal. All that we had was a manchaha carpet on the floor. So we loved the carpet, and we said, now what do we do with this space? So then we thought that, you know, the colors have to match the carpet, and then I had this roomy quote that says, wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. So based on that roomy quote, we followed a very interesting process that created the art. And Kavan, why don't you elaborate on the process?
So I think this was one of the most interesting pieces in the whole house, where
it's all fully embroidered.
Yeah. And it was initially painted, or the graphics were created by an artist based out of Bangalore. And we got that particular piece, I think it's 14 feet by 4 feet or 12 feet by 4 feet.
4.5.
And then we got it hand embroidered in Ahmedabad, and we used like more than 14 different techniques. And I think what was even important through the house was that every art should be more tactile. As you go closer to it, it's got its own depth and its own sense of feel, color, so that was the main art which we co-created. And then in the ceiling you see the tickery work.
So here a contemporary artist actually created the artwork and then did the color swatches, and then we sent those swatches to Ahmedabad to get it all embroidered bit by bit by bit. So the entire surface is embroidered with Ari. Yeah. This is the ceiling where we did this mirror work, tickery mirror work, and the theme was Garuda and Vishnu. Yeah.
And I think so again here what we've done is we combined miniature artwork with tickery. And even the tickery, most of the time you would end up seeing in a very traditional way, but our take on it was something more modern. Like, why don't we take the cloud forms from the Tibetan art forms? And what it even did interestingly was when the sunlight would fall on these pieces of mirror, you would see these different specks of light that were created through the living room. So as the day passed or the different time of the day, you would find these different reflections happening through the entire space, which almost became like a live installation, as like the light kept changing and the specks of the mirrors kept changing through the living space. That's the study.
And that's the study. Vipul, you want to tell them?
So this is my study, right? Actually, move to the next one.
He's very proud of it.
And I'll tell you why I'm proud of it, right? So the entire wall, right, end to end, has been done with this
silver leafing,
and then a painting on top.
Yeah.
And the painting is very fantasy, right?
Yeah.
So every time I look at it, I can imagine and tell myself a different story, right? And it just takes up that entire space. The rest of the furniture is very minimal, right? It's just a table and a chair and a bookshelf, right? So I love that space.
So again, it's the tradition.
He has given us all names over here. Somewhere it's his daughter, somewhere it's him, his son, and his driver, and everybody's here. Yeah. Okay.
This painting was done on the site itself?
Yeah.
How much time does this type of painting take?
Actually, the silver leafing has to happen, and then you do the painting on top of it.
So
But because it's a metallic surface, it requires 3 coats, 4 coats before it becomes nice and strong.
And the actual art on that?
It was painted with
Once your coat is done, the actual art
hand painted
It's
on.
all
How much time does that take on this?
This one took almost we went on and on for a long time.
A month. I think the whole.
One artist or more?
1.5.
There were like one and the helpers, but I think the whole process was like layer and layer. It's almost like creating a fresco.
Yeah.
And I think It even takes its influence from Banarasi Rajmahal, which is the traditional art form.
Yeah.
But then you see every art form in this house, we've tried to make it more contemporary, more whimsical, more playful.
And do you all generally do like a small artwork before and like a sample
Yes,
or something
yes,
like that?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
digitally, or that's handmade?
So first a digital artwork, then a small mock is made, and
And
then
then you make it.
Yeah.
this is
Just
the
balcony, so.
balcony. That's the bedroom with the Sozani at the back, a Sozani textile that we got from Jaipur. And of course my dog has the best place to sit. And on the opposite wall is a Jain
Yantra. So-
Yantra.
So I think through the house, what we've even done is we played a lot with the traditional art and contemporary art, and I think that's what's interesting about the house is it's not one genre of art. It is a mix, and it's a mix of collectibles, art that has been curated, and art which is personalized for them through the space
Yeah. The other side of the bedroom.
with the Kali Ghat paintings.
Yeah, even the furniture is very interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we try to mix and match very contemporary with the very quirky and traditional as well. Yeah. So this one is actually I had these antique leather shadow puppets from Andhra Pradesh, and this was on the theme of Mahabharata. Each piece is about 100 years old. So we put this together in glass panels,
But like
and
layered
they were
glass.
layered in 3 layers.
Go to the next slide.
And when you light it up, here you can't see the layers that well, but you can make out that there are 3 different layers. So
Yeah, so instead of just having one layer, what we've really done is we've overlaid some of the puppets. So this is literally like 3 layers of glass, and at the back we have a Pattachitra painting, which is again done on site to create this scene. So when they have the puppets, they have a fabric, and then they depict the shadow puppets.
Fabric is at the back.
We've hand painted the wall, and then we created 3 layers of glass. So you see different level of transparency and opacity of the puppets since it's layered. So it's more dynamic when you're in the space. It doesn't look flat. It's almost like these puppets were in motion because they are overlapping with each other, almost recreating the war scene, which you didn't want, but we still wanted
it's a
to.
Mahabharat scene.
So,
Yeah, I was a little, I mean, it's too fierce, I thought, but it worked out okay. So this one, Vipul, you want to talk about?
So this is my bar.
Which one you like better, the study or
My
the bar?
study, my bar.
Which is the favorite?
You know, the true test of a house is that as you live through it, right, 1 week later, 1 month later, 6 months later, you like it even more or more. Or you start, looking and saying, oh, I wish things were different, right? And I have to say that.
Want to pass this around?
Because each one is very personalized, right? And you get involved in the conceptual process. You actually don't have to in a sense, right? So I didn't play any part in the creative process. But as a customer, I own, right, every space that we created because there was some of my thoughts, right, that went into it.
Sure.
So this is, of course, I love that Van Gogh's painting, right, Starry Stripes. And I said I want some visualization of that. So this is what they came up with.
So it's almost like the
So
deconstructed.
ceramic?
No, it's the copper
It's
enamel.
this copper enamel.
Copper enamel, yeah, the one which you have.
And it's almost like a deconstructed form of the painting. And,
Glass infused on copper.
and again, so initially the idea
Go to
was
the
to have like
next
bigger
slide.
pieces of mural, but then that's when we came across that the art form also has limitation in terms of what size or scale can go into the furnace, and that's why then we had to fragment the entire art forms into smaller pieces, which almost came together, and some of them were backlit. So we're almost always looking at the art which could do much more than just
Go back
being on
one
the
slide.
surface. So this I think plays an important backdrop to the bar when all the lights are shut and some of them are lit, and you would see like some
Little twinkles.
twinkles through the painting, almost like creating the starry night but in a more deconstructed way.
The light which filters in it because of some holes?
Yes, there were some punches on the plate, yes.
Okay. So this is the Blom light that Baaya has created recently. It's at the back there. It's a fusion of copper and brass and patina techniques. Beaten copper, green patina and red patina, and it's a chandelier with different arms, and it's kind of adaptive to sizes and The more the number of florets you can also keep adding. Yeah. That's a bathroom.
So like every bathroom was also, as I said at the start of the presentation, it was very personalized to the person living in the room. And this was the son's bathroom where you used the marble inlay technique and had a customized marble basin which was suspended. I mean, for us, while we were also debating with them, everyone had a very different take on art. So the son had a very modern take on art, whereas someone like she had a very sort of, I would say, like a very tropical, whimsical room that she wanted.
Yeah.
And so as we moved to the space, we had to really adapt art to everyone's need and everyone's personal liking. And I think every art really had a lot of intense craftsmanship going on.
This was all illustrated by our illustrators, then printed on
The
tiles,
tile and then baked.
and then
Yeah, like
Yeah,
840
put up.
pieces of mosaic that came
Right,
together to create that mural in the washroom. Yeah.
mosaic work. These are animals that are there in another bathroom, similar to the shadow puppet.
What's the background on the bathroom?
It's cement IPS.
Cement
IPS, and then
Floor also and on the wall.
only the walls, the floors were wood, like the wooden tiles, and then we had some of the. We wanted to continue the puppet theme into the bathroom. That's where we've taken some forms from the puppets and which is given it a different medium, like the mosaic. And you see like some of the animals sparsely placed in the grey bathroom.
And that's our family portrait.
In a Kalighat style.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so that's the house with the lights, the mirror work.
which reflects onto
reflects
the
off,
ceiling.
Yeah.
And
That's the textile art embroidered. These are just some accents, cabinets and from Baaya and stonework from Baaya, and some elements that were used.
you can look at the video. Like we're just going to
Yeah,
run
yeah.
through like a small video of when the craftsmen were really working on the site.
This was the best shelf?
Yes, it was the best show.
The best shelf.
So this is how the silver foiling art was. So most of the art was done on site. So we had artisans on site for like over a period of 1 month, 2 months, and
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So we'd like to show you some of the swatches that are there inside. Any questions? Anybody
I'd like to
has?
come see it in person someday.
Yeah, you have to come home. All of you are welcome, and we'll do something at our home also.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Anything else? Who designed the artwork? Well, some of it was him, some of it was me, some of it was our ideas coming together and the team working on it, and it was a lot of give and take. Some of the quirky elements are more from him and some of the classic elements or the crafts, of course, Baaya has
I think
worked
how
on.
it even started was like they had this book, but remember the name of the book? It's I think indigenous artists, and that's what we kept referring to as a start point to even look at the different art forms, because we were aware of some art forms, but we did not know the limitation of the artwork. And I think that's when like most of the time we would go and ask her like, what's the max we can pull this artist
How
to
can
do,
we push this?
or what's
Yeah.
the scale we can work with.
Yeah.
And there were certain times where we were like, we wanted the art to be much more than just
Yeah.
on the walls, like the dome that you see like in Tikri work and all.
Yeah.
So I think it was very intuitive also. I feel the whole
Yeah.
process like going back and forth with the whole art form.
I don't know really where to draw the line on IPR.
Yeah, but I think our conversations are mostly about art
Yeah.
more than the space, I think. So it was more
Yeah.
like the artscape, I would say, like the whole
Yeah.
thing was around it.
Interesting.
Yeah, lot of give and take.
Yes, a lot of learning.
And some arguments.
Yeah.
But largely we were in sync.